Hi, I'm Rebecca Klingler, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make one of our favorite Sunday treats, which is no-bake cookies. The first step that you're going to have to do is get all of the ingredients out. The second step is going to be mixing the sugar, salt, milk, butter, and cocoa together, and then stirring it all together. And the third step is boiling the mixture, and then the fourth step is adding vanilla, peanut butter, and oats. The fifth step is spooning onto wax paper and letting them harden if you can wait that long for the sixth step, which is to enjoy them. Okay, so in this first mixture, you're going to put 2 cups of just plain white sugar. So there's one. And you're going to want to put this in a bowl that you can put on the oven because we have to boil this later. So there's the 2 cups of white sugar. And then you are going to want to put in 1/8 teaspoon of salt. So there's that. And then after the 1/8 teaspoon of salt, you're going to want to put in 1/2 cup of milk. And you're just going to want to put that in the bowl. And then you're going to put in 1/4 cup of butter. And what I do with my butter, since we have to boil it, is I just cut it into small pieces so that it's easier to melt, so that it will melt faster. And so 1/4 cup of butter is also just 1/2 cube of regular butter. And then you are going to put in 2 tablespoons of cocoa. So this is like baking cocoa, not like cocoa that you put in hot cocoa. So you're going to put 2 tablespoons in. And then after that, you're just going to stir it all together. So just stir it until it's all mixed. The butter doesn't have to mix in, but just make sure that the rest of it's all stirred together. Okay, so after you get all of that mixed up, you're just going to want to come and put it on the stove top. And I like to put it on about 5 because this is the most important part. And you're going to want to keep stirring it constantly or else the chocolate will burn and then your cookies will taste burnt. So you're going to want to sit here and just stir it, and you're going to stir it until it starts boiling. And when it starts boiling, then you're going to want to set a timer for about 1.5 minutes and let it boil. And so you just sit here and stir it constantly until it starts boiling, and you just let it boil for 1.5 minutes. So it's going to seem like you're stirring this forever, but you don't want to turn the heat up or else they will taste burnt, and that is what ruins most no-bake cookies, and then they don't taste as good. So you're just going to let it sit here, and my butter is just barely started to all melt into it. So I'm just going to keep stirring it until it starts to boil. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but if you just let it sit, you can see that it's starting to bubble, which means that it's starting to boil. So now I'm going to set my timer for 1.5 minutes. And I'm just going to keep on stirring this because I don't want it to burn. So you can see that it's starting to get more and more bubbly. So just keep stirring it and let it boil for 1.5 minutes. Okay, so after it's been boiling for 2 minutes, you just want to take it off the stove and put it on a hot pad and put it on your counter. Okay, so when you get to this point after it's done boiling and it's just chocolate, then you're going to want to get a cup of peanut butter. And I found that the easiest way to do the peanut butter is to just measure it out before you start boiling everything. And then you just get a rubber scraper so that the peanut butter can come out easily. And you're just going to put that in there and stir that in. And then you are going to want to get vanilla, and you're going to want to put in about 1 teaspoon. So I just put in a few drops. And then you're just going to stir all of that together. You just keep stirring it, and once it's all stirred in, then you are going to want to start to add rolled oats. So you're going to want to add anywhere from 2 or 3. You just kind of have to watch how thick it's getting, and once you can't stir in the oats anymore with getting chocolate on them, then that's going to be enough oats. So just make sure that you're only putting in enough oats to get them covered in chocolate, or else you've put in too many. Okay, so you're just going to keep adding oats. So there's a cup. And I'm just going to put in 2 to start. You just stir it in. Okay, so as you can see, this is still getting able to have all of them mixed in, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Probably not a full cup. I'm just going to keep adding a little bit until it won't mix in. Okay, so that looks like it's about right. So I'm just going to use that much. And so after you're done with this, you're going to want to have wax paper laid out on the table. I don't know if you can see that. But then you're going to get 2 spoons, and you have to do this part fast so that they don't dry. So you get 2 spoons and you put it on one, and then you just scrape it off the back with another. And you just do this to the whole pan, and you just scrape them into little cookie-sized little piles onto the wax paper until all of it is out of the pan. So then after all of these are out on the wax paper, you are just going to want to let them sit on the counter for about 10 to 12 minutes until they harden and turn into cookies, because right now they're just kind of mush. Okay, so as you can see, the cookies are now hard, and so you can just go ahead and eat those now. So now just to do a little recap of the steps. The first step that you're going to have to do is get out all of the ingredients, and then you're going to mix the 2 cups of sugar, the 1/8 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 cup of milk, a 1/2 cube of butter, and 1 1/2 or 2 teaspoons of cocoa. And then you're going to put that on the oven or on the stove top, and you're going to put the heat to medium, or like 5 if yours has numbers. And then you're going to constantly stir that until it starts to boil, and then you're going to boil it for 1.5 minutes. And then after it's done boiling, you're going to stick in a teaspoon of vanilla, a cup of peanut butter, and 2 to 3 cups of rolled oats, and you're going to just stir those together, and then you're just going to put it on wax paper and let them dry. So I hope that helps you learn how to make no-bake cookies, and I hope that you'll make them because they're really good. Thanks for watching.